Welcome back to INLA, everybody. It is time to take you to the deep beyond, to something that human eyes have not seen in over 80 years. It's just off San Pedro. It's 200 feet deep in the ocean, and Eyewitness News anchor David Ono has the story.
At the height of World War I, this German U-boat sank 13 Allied vessels, mostly merchant ships. No one knows how many lives were lost. But in 1918, the UB-88 surrendered, and Great Britain turned it over to the U.S. to study the inner workings of an enemy submarine. Later, the UB-88 toured U.S. harbors, used by the Navy to sell war bonds and recruit sailors. Its final dive came in 1921, when the sub was towed out to sea off San Pedro and sunk in a live-fire exercise. Since then, it sat undisturbed and unseen by human eyes for more than 80 years.
To believe that there's a relatively intact German U-boat, just a few miles off one of the busiest shipping ports in the world, it's fascinating.
Gary Fabian led a team of shipwreck explorers in the hunt for the UB-88, a search that stretched out over a period of years.
It's a big ocean. There's a lot of ground underneath this water, and nobody knew exactly where it was.
Its exact location is sworn to secrecy. Team members don't want recreational divers trying to salvage what's left of the wreck. It would be a risky operation for any diver. The UB-88 may contain 25 pounds of unexploded TNT.
There were supposedly scuttling charges on board. And after 82 years on the bottom, it's unclear that they would still be a hazard, but for that reason, we're not going to enter the wreck.
Gary and Ray Arntz used old Navy ship logs and high-tech maps of the seafloor to search for the sub. Finally, in July of 2003, an unmistakable sight on the sonar.
I had a feeling, because I had almost run out of targets that were on my list to look at, and I could tell by the sonar that it was a wreck, and it was a good one.
It was the UB-88, a find confirmed with the team's first dive to the ocean floor in August. The mission on this day is to better document the wreck and to further explore its underwater mysteries. John Walker and Kendall Rain are expert divers, specially trained to descend far beyond the range of recreational divers. Hundreds of feet below the surface, the sub comes into view. Closer in, a better look at the brilliant colors created by a myriad of sea life, now making its home on the UB-88.
The pink substance that you see growing on the wreck is a strawberry sea anemone known as a Coriolanactus. We're going up towards the bow. We're guessing about 10 feet of the bow was broken off, probably from a combination of the heavy shelling that it took in 1921, as well as the plunge nose first into the bottom.
Still recognizable are the periscope wells, dive planes used to maneuver the sub, and a torpedo hatch with a hand wheel on top.
This is a lower torpedo tube and the upper one. These are the doors that they would open when they would fire they would flood the compartments and then fire the torpedoes.
Here you can see the conning tower, a raised bridge often used to steer the sub on the surface. This bracket on the bow is unique to the UB-88. Nearby are two tabs that used to attach a net cutter to the sub.
They would try to capture these submarines with nets in the harbors and such. So they would build net cutters to rip them apart.
And here you can see the gun mount. The UB-88 carried a powerful 88-millimeter gun capable of sinking a ship on its own. Then, our first look inside the sub as John lowers a camera into the engine room.
And those are the mounts for the engines and the electric motors and such.
Here's the same engine room in a photo dated September of 1919. Damage from the target practice that finally sank the UB-88 can still be seen both inside and out.
There's a hole here, and if you look, the metal is peeled out, and I'm pretty sure that's one of the exiting points of some of the wounding shots that it took.
83 years after its demise, the UB-88 is teeming with life. Rockfish and sardines swarm around the sub.
Just walls of fish, millions of fish down there. It's incredible.
They're all over the place. It's fabulous. It's a reef now. It's not a ship. It's a living organism now. It belongs to the sea.